Hello children, welcome to the YouTube channel of Velkin National School, Vasai East. This is Mrs. Mamata Bijur, your subject teacher of SST. Today I will be teaching for standard 7th, that is Geography, chapter number 9, Agriculture. Now they have given the picture of a house in a village. In the picture shown above, we see a standing crop, a plowshare, etc. From this, it becomes obvious that this is a farmer's house. A farmer keeps hen, sheep, goats, and cattle. They are also seen in the picture. He gets milk, eggs, etc. from them. He sells hen, goat to earn money. He does all this for his subsistence. All these occupations depend on natural factors. All this fall under agriculture. These occupations are supplementary to the cultivation of crops. Agriculture had a wide scope. For our basic need of food and clothing, we make use of plants and animals. Besides the cultivation of different crops, rearing cattle, sheep and goats, maintaining poultry farms, keeping bees, sericulture, horticulture, orchidry, then pisciculture, pig farming, emu farming, etc. are included in agriculture. In agricultural occupation, resources like manpower, animals, implements, etc. are used. Advanced technology is employed. In agriculture, cultivation of crops is considered to be the main and the most important occupation. Now over here in this paragraph they have explained that now in the above picture you can see a standing crops, then plowshare. Plowshare means it's a main cutting blade of a plow. It is a farmer's house, which shows that he gets milk, egg, then he sells hen, goat to earn money. Now he does all because this is available naturally. So these are all the work of the agriculture. It has a wide scope, and for our basic need, that is food, clothing, in which we use plants and animals. So apart from this, there is a cultivation of different crops like rearing cattle, then sheep and goats, maintaining poultry farms, keeping bees, sericulture, then horticulture, then orchidry, then pisciculture, pig farming, emu farming, etc. In this, advanced technology is employed and it's their main important occupation. Now they have given in the next page about the traditional and modern agricultural activities. In the above picture, we see the changes in agricultural practice. In the past, primitive man had to wander in the forest to sustain himself on the collected forest produce. Later, he learned the art of cultivation and started getting greater production from the land. Through this, he could provide for the whole year's need for food grains. He also started obtaining a number of products through floriculture, horticulture, rearing animals, pisciculture, etc. Abandoning nomadic life, he undertook different occupation related to agriculture at the same place. Now let us get introduced to the different occupation that come under the scope of agriculture. We use the products of these occupation in our everyday life. These traditional occupation are allied activity in agriculture. Now over here in this paragraph they have explained that primitive man used to live their life by collecting forest produce. Then later when the art of cultivation got started, it got greater production from the land. Because of this they got whole year food grains. He started obtaining number of products through floriculture, horticulture, then rearing animals, pisciculture, etc. And these all products are used for day to day life. Dairy farming, animal husbandry. Rearing different animals and obtaining various products from them for subsistence in the core of animal industries, animal husbandry. Dairy farming, cow, oxen, buffalo, etc. are reared for agriculture related work. Rearing milch animals and animals which can be employed in farming is also an occupation. It is considered to be an inseparable part of mixed farming. It has become quite commercial in recent times. In India, it has started changing recently. Commercial dairy farming is mainly undertaken for meat and milk. Now over here it has explained that animal husbandry is rearing different animals to get various product from it. It is the core of it. So in the dairy farming paragraph they have explained that cow, oxen, buffalo are used for agriculture related work. Then it's the occupation, it's a very commercial in recent time, and this commercial dairy farming is undertaken for meat and milk. Sheep and goat rearing. This is also a traditional occupation that is generally carried out in hilly tracts and semi-arid region with dry climate. Sheep and goats survive on short grasses, shrubs and acacia. Which grows in remote hilly rural area away from urban settlement. In India, it is mainly undertaken for meat. Sheep rearing is carried out to obtain wool. Now over here in this paragraph, they have explained that it is a traditional occupation and it is carried out in hilly tracts and semi-arid region with dry climate. Now sheep and goats live on short grasses, shrubs, then acacia. Then this sheep is mainly carried out to get wool. Poultry. Keeping hen and other fowl is a common practice in all parts of the world. It is a traditional occupation. Today it is carried out as a household occupation and also on a commercial basis. Running a poultry on a commercial basis require a lot of care. For this, scientific methods are employed. In India, this occupation is generally located in the area close to big cities as they provide a ready market for this occupation. In some areas, rabbit, pig and emu rearing is also undertaken. Now over here in this paragraph they have explained this is also traditional occupation and it is also said as household occupation. It is basically keeping hens. It is all about running poultry on a commercial basis which requires lot of care. Now for this scientific methods are used, and in India this occupation is generally in the area to big cities which provides ready market for its occupation. Beekeeping. This occupation is undertaken to obtain honey and wax. Bees, in order to collect honey, hover around the plants that bear flowers. This promotes the process of pollination. As a result, the tree bear large number of fruits and the crop's yield increases. Beekeeping is an important occupation with respect to agriculture. Now over here in this paragraph they have explained that this occupation is to obtain honey and wax. Bees are to collect honey and wax. This is the process of pollination. Now as the trees bear large amount of fruits and yield crops, which goes on increasing. Now beekeeping is also important occupation with respect to agriculture. Pisciculture. Farm ponds are dug out for this purpose. Water is stored in such pond. Fish seeds are released in the ponds. For this, seeds of the freshwater species are used. In order to achieve the best growth of fish, scientific methods are employed. Fishing in open sea has a number of risk factors. Different types of fish and other aquatic organisms get caught in the fishing nets. Separating them become a major task. All organisms do not fetch the same price. All these factors lead to the rearing of specific type of fish species separately. Now pisciculture developed out of this effort. Wham, roha, ravas, columbi, etc. are reared in fish farms. Now in the pisciculture paragraph they have explained that farm ponds are dug and water is stored in such points. Now fish seeds are released in the ponds. For better growth of fish, scientific methods are used. Now while fishing, many aquatic organisms get caught in fishing nets, so it need to separate and it is a major task. Now all type of fish does not have same price. Pisciculture requires lot of effort. Wham, roha and ravas, columbi are the rare in fish farms. Sericulture. Silk thread is obtained from the cocoon of silk moth. These threads are very fine and strong, and from these one can weave soft silk cloth. Getting silk thread, form cocoons and manufacturing silk cloth are independent occupation. They are not included in agriculture. Different organizations supply silk moth eggs to the farmers. Leaves of the mulberry trees are the main food for these silkworms. Once planted, the mulberry trees survive for a minimum period of 15 years. Hence, the expenditure of planting of the trees every year is saved. Now, in sericulture, they have explained that silk thread is obtained from the cocoon of the silk moth. Now, this thread are very fine and strong, which can weave soft silk cloth. Now, silk thread form cocoons and it is manufactured silk cloth is independent occupation. Now, many organizations supply silk moth eggs to the farmers, and the food for silkworm are the leaves of mulberry trees. So, this mulberry trees survive minimum 15 years. Nursery. In the last few years, the area under floriculture, cultivation of medicinal and aromatic plants and horticulture has increased. These plantations require a high standard of seedlings, cuttings, bulbs and seeds. This has led to the development of nurseries. Nurseries give good return. Now they have given the picture over here of nursery. You can see where this nursery where you have located nearby. Every location they have the nurseries where you can collect the plants, different kinds of plants, flowers and everything, and you can keep this at home. So in this paragraph they have explained that in the few years floriculture and cultivating medicinals and aromatic plants and horticulture have increased. Now this nursery requires high standard of seedling, then cuttings, then bulbs and seeds. Now this is used for the development of nurseries, and nurseries give very good returns. Now this is the greenhouse farming. It is a very big farm, lakhs of seeds, flowers is been planted over here, plants is been planted. Types of farming. Different types of agriculture have evolved due to the geographical and cultural diversity and technological differences in different regions. The type of farming depends upon the purpose and aim of method of farming. The crops being cultivated, the technique used, land use, etc. Broadly, the following type of the agriculture can be identified. Now, if I tell you there are different kinds of agriculture, there is not only one type of agriculture, it is depending upon to the geographical and cultural diversity that type of agriculture man uses, and for that type of agriculture various technologies are used. Now, farming, the types of farming depends on the method of farming. When it is being cultivated, if that cultivation needs lot of technique, so the man uses lot of techniques, then the following types of the agriculture can be identified. Now, there are types of farming. One is subsistence farming, in that there is two cultivation, there is intensive farming and shifting cultivation, and the other is commercial farming. In this four are there: extensive grain farming, plantation farming, market gardening, horticulture. Now, what is subsistence farming? Intensive farming and shifting cultivation are the two types of in traditional farming. Intensive farming is carried out in one and the same farm for years together. In shifting cultivation, every year a new area is chosen for cultivation. After a specific period of time, old area are again used for cultivation. Then in substensive farming, it is that there are the two types of traditional farming. One is intensive farming and the other is shifting farming. Now, in intensive farming, it is carried out in one and the same form for years, and in shifting farming, every year a new area is been selected for the cultivation. Then in certain period, old area is again used for the cultivation, and in intensive farming, the overall idea is minimum area with maximum production. Now, because of the large population or limited availability of land, per head holding is small, and this farming is mostly seen in the developing region. That we will read now. Extensive farming, getting maximum, as I told you, getting maximum production from a minimum area is the characteristics of extensive farming. Due to the large population or limited availability of land, per head holding is small. This type of farming is mostly seen in developing region. Farm production is sufficient only for the requirement of the family. In this type of farming, the cultivator and his family are totally dependent on farming. As farm production is low, the economic condition of the cultivator is also poor. Now, in this they have said, because of the large population or a limited availability of land, the per head holding is small. So, this farming is mostly seen in the developing region, and this is only sufficient for the requirement of the family. They do it only for their family sufficient. So, the cultivator is also fully dependent on farming, and over here as per the farming production, when the farming production is low, so the economic condition of the cultivator is also poor. Now, they have given this terrace farming. This is called terrace farming. See the steps over here, this kind of a terrace farming. In this type of farming, mostly animated energies is used. Besides the cereal, vegetables are also grown to some extent. Now, this is shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation is a primitive type of cultivation. This type of cultivation is practiced in the tropics in densely forested area or hilly tracts. The farmer initially selects a piece of a land in the forest. In order to make it cultivable, he clears the land by cutting down the trees, plants, removing the shrubs and grass. Once the cut tree dried out, he burns them. The leftover ash gets mixed in the soil and act as manure. Sowing and harvesting is done before the rainy season. The production obtained from this is not sufficient to fulfill the food requirement. Hence, people undertake hunting, fishing, and gathering of bulbs and roots from forest. In this type of farming, the fallow period is longer than the crop period. After the productivity of the land depletes in 2 to 3 years, a different piece of land is selected for cultivation. Now, over here, this shifting farming is mostly, or it's kind of a type of a primitive type of a cultivation. It's a very old cultivation. In this type of cultivation is done mainly mostly on the tropics in the densely forested area. If I can tell you, it can be in the hilly tracts. What over there the farmers do, starting means initially they first select the piece of a land in the forest. Then when they try to make it cultivable, they first clear the land by cutting down the trees, plants, and they remove the shrubs and the grasses. Once this all first step is done, then the cut trees gets dried out. Then after the dried out process, then they burn it. Okay, then after the burning, the leftover ash, this ash gets mixed in the soil and it act as a manure. So in the rainy season, what they do, sowing and harvesting is done before the rainy season. So the production, whatever the production is obtained, that is not at all sufficient to fulfill their daily food requirements. So what the people do, they, to fulfill their food requirement fully, they undertake hunting, fishing, and gathering of bulbs and some roots from the forest. So this kind of a farming is mainly done in the dry land. Farming is made possible. So after the productivity of land, it get depletes, means when after a certain period of land, when the production is not more, so a different piece of a land is been selected for the cultivation. Now they have given this shifting cultivation forest. Now this is commercial farming. Extensive grain farming and plantation agriculture are the two major types covered under commercial farming. Now commercial farming means what? It's a very huge and extensive grain farming and plantation is been done in the agriculture, and there are two major types which is covered under commercial farming. One is the extensive grain farming and other is the plantation farming. We will read in this in detail. Now in extensive farming, they have said farm size is greater than 2000 hectare. Now when they have to do the commercial farming, they first have to think the area where they want to do the farming cultivation. They need at least the farm size greater than 200 hectares. Due to the large farm size and spare population in the region, this type of farming is carried out with the help of machines like tractor and crushers. Pesticides are sprayed with the help of the helicopters or planes. Now as I told you, it it required a large farm size, and over there also in the commercial farming, the population in that region is not more. So the farming is carried out with the help of the machines. Now they have given this mechanization in extensive farming. See, this is the big kind of a tractor. Okay, so what they are saying is that they need a machines like tractor and crushers, and after that they use the pesticides. They spray the pesticides with the help of the helicopters or planes. They individually don't go in the commercial farming and they spray the pesticides. They They take the help of the helicopters or planes to spray the pesticides. Monocrop. Monocrop cultivation is the striking characteristics of this type of farming. Crops are wheat or corn. Besides this, barley, oats, soya bean are also cultivated to some extent. Monocrops means what? Monocrops is a single crop, single crop. It has been cultivated in this type of a farming, like the crops like wheat or corn. Apart from this, barley, oats or soya bean are also cultivated to some extent. Heavy capital investment is necessary for this type of farming, since huge expenditure are needed for the purchase of machinery, fertilizers, pesticides, go down, transport cost, etc. The problem in extensive grain farming are drought, attack by pest, locust, etc., and market fluctuation. This type of farming is carried out in the temperate grassland region. Now this commercial farming, this is mainly carried out in the temperate grassland region. Once you start this farming, before starting this you need a heavy investment, you need a heavy money capital for this type of farming. The expenditure will be like you need to purchase the machinery, then big type of fertilizers, then pesticides, you need go downs to upload and unload, then transport cost and etc. Now the problem in this extensive grain farming is that it creates droughts, then there can be the attack of pests, then can be the attack of locust, it's an insect, etc., and depends on the market fluctuation too. Plantation farming. Farm size in plantation agriculture is 40 hectare or above. As plantation agriculture is practiced in hilly tracts, use of machines is not possible and hence local manpower become important. The crop for which the geographical conditions are favorable is planted. This is single crop cultivation practice too. This type of agriculture does not produce food grain. Only commercial crops like tea, rubber, coffee, coconut, coca, then spices, etc. are planted. This type of farming began and spread mostly during the colonial period. It is practiced in the tropics. This type of farming requires large scale capital investment due to long duration of crops, use of scientific method, exportable production, processing, etc. Climate, manpower, deterioration of environment, economic and managerial problems are the major issue faced by this type of agriculture. This type of agriculture is practiced in India and other South Asian countries, Africa, South and Central America, etc. Now over here in this paragraph they have explained that in plantation farming you require very farm size of plantation agriculture, which should be around 40 hectares and above. Now this kind of plantation agriculture is mostly practiced in the hilly tracts, so the use of machines is not possible over here. So they call the local manpower, and this manpower becomes important for them for the agricultural work. Over here the crops for which they cultivate the crops where the geographical conditions are favorable, and this is single crop cultivation. But this type of agriculture does not produce any food grains. Only commercial crops like includes like tea, rubber, coffee, coconut, cocoa and spices are all these type of commercial crops are planted. And this type of farming is mostly spread during the colonial period, and this is practiced in the tropical area, and it requires large scale of capital investment and the durations is very long. Many types of scientific methods, then processing is been done, Now, according to the climate, according to the manpower and the proper environment, uh, and then economical and managerial problems are the major issues faced by this type of agriculture. This type of agriculture is mainly practiced in India and other South Asian countries like Africa, South and Central America. Market gardening. Market gardening is a type of cultivation developed in modern times. This has developed mainly as a result of urbanization and the ready market available in urban centers. Farmers cultivate vegetables and other items in the vicinity of urban centers to cater to the demands of the city dwellers. This type of cultivation works on a principle of economic demand and supply. The land holding is small, use of irrigation, organic and chemical fertilizers, low investment, use of manpower, demand of market, use of science and technology, etc., are the characteristics of market gardening. It is dependent on good transport network. The quality and price of the product is determined by rapid transport. Hence, this type of farming is also known as truck farming. Now, market gardening. They have given this picture of market gardening. It is a type of a cultivation which is mostly developed in the modern times. This is developed, you will see this developed mainly in the urban areas where there are ready markets available in the urban centers. So, what farmers do? Farmers cultivate vegetables and other many items in the urban centers, and then they cater to the demand of city dwellers. Now, this type of cultivation works only on the principle of economic demand and supply. Where there is a demand, then only this kind of market gardening is done. Where the supply is more and the economic is very popular in this market gardening, then only this is done. So, the land holding over here is small. There is a use of irrigation, organic and then chemical fertilizers. Then there is a low investment in this. There is a manpower. Then there will be the demand for the market. Then there will be the use of science and technology. These all are required. These are the main characteristics of the market gardening. It has to be dependent on the good transport network, and the quality and the price of the product is depend on the rapid transport. So it is also known, this kind of farming is also known as truck farming. Horticulture, floriculture. Cultivation of flowers and fruits is a subtype of market gardening. Fruits and flowers are the major product of this type of farming. In this type of farming, modern as well as traditional methods are used. The size of farms is small and every plant is cared for properly. Now, in this horticulture and floriculture, in this paragraph they have explained that horticulture and floriculture, in this it is mainly the cultivation of fruits and flowers. It is a subtype of the market gardening. Fruits and flower are the main products in this type of farming. It is a modern as well as traditional method are used. So size of the farm is small. Over the requirement, the size of a farm is small, and every plant should be, each and every plant has to be cared very properly. They have given this floriculture. In recent times, use of irrigation, chemical fertilizers, greenhouse, etc. is being made for getting more profit. Major products of horticulture are flowers like lily, gerbera, tulip, dahlia, chrysanthemum, marigold, etc. These fetch a good price in the market. Different native and exotic fruits like mango, custard apple, grapes, bananas, pomegranate, dragon fruits, cherries, oranges, raspberries, strawberries, mulberries, etc. are cultivated in fruit farming at places like Mahabaleshwar, Panchgani, Pune, Nagpur, Jalgaon, Nasik, etc. Countries have Mediterranean climate. France and Italy are famous for horticulture. They have given this orchardry. Okay, now over here in this paragraph they have explained that there is lot of a use of irrigation and chemical fertilizers. Greenhouse is been separately made to get more profit on this type of floriculture and horticulture. Then major products of horticultures are like flowers like lily, gerbera, tulip, then dahlia, chrysanthemum, then marigold, etc. This type of horticulture gives a lot of good price in the market. Now different exotic fruits like mangoes, custard apple, grapes, bananas, pomegranate, then dragon fruit, cherries, orange, mulberries, raspberries, strawberries, these are all the fruit farming. So places like Mahabaleshwar, Panchgani, Pune, Nagpur, Jalgaon, Nasik, these are all the places where where there is a lot of cultivation in fruit farming. In where the countries like which is having the climate of Mediterranean climate, there only this type of fruit farming is been done and it fetches a good amount. France and Italy are famous for horticulture. Agrotourism. Agrotourism is a new field in tourism. In the tropic, various types of agricultural products are cultivated. Hence, there is a greater scope for agrotourism. In agrarian countries like the rural life, local customs, and culture are utilized for agrotourism. City dwellers are curious about the farmer's life and environment. Many of them visit rural area just to see this. Agrotourism is financially beneficial for the farmers and the village. Now over here they have given the picture of agrotourism. In agrotourism there is a new field. It's a new field of tourism. Various types of agricultural products are cultivated in the tropical area. So there is a more and more scope of agrotourism. Now in agrarian countries, the rural life, their local customs and their cultures are utilized for agrotourism. Now the city area, they are mostly curious about the farmers life and their environment. So many people, what they do, if they want to see this type of agrotourism, they visit in the rural area and they see this, and then this type of agrotourism makes financially beneficial for the farmers and this village, because while visiting this agrotourism, the city dwellers used to pay to see this agrotourism. So that is why it is beneficial for the farmers and the village. After the discussion, you have realized that those fruits and vegetables that look fresh and attractive may not have been ripened using proper method. At times, in order to get the produce earlier, artificial chemical pesticides are employed profusely. This facilitates quicker production and the produce appears fresh and attractive. However, such products are harmful to the health. Also, they do not last long for after purchase. Now, over here in this paragraph, what they have said, that there are many kinds of fruits and vegetable. It should be grown according to the season. According to the season, that seasonal type of fruit should be consumed. You should not consume which is there is a lot of artificial chemicals and pesticides are used to grow that fruits and vegetable, and which is also harmful for our health. That kind of artificial chemical and pesticides, what it facilitates quicker production, and it produce in that production it appears, it looks fresh and attractive. Marketing systems are necessary for making the good produced by the farmers available to the consumer at a fair price and in time. The importance of marketing system in countries like India will become clear from the following points. Agriculture in India is scattered over vast areas. All farmers are not organized. Most of the farmers are economically weak and cannot market their production on their own. That is why the system of agricultural produce market committees is established at the taluka level. At these places, farmers bring their produce and sell to the traders. As farm produce is perishable, there has to be a proper arrangement for its sale. Institute like farmers organization, consumer societies, etc. help in this task and try to protect farmers from the exploitation by agent, mediators and others. Some of the farm produce is directly used by industry as raw material. International market are now become easily available for farm produce due to globalization. Human progressive farmers are using the modern technology in their farms. Also, they sell the produce with proper packaging. Hotels and malls also require agricultural produce on a large scale. By advertising on the internet, their products get sold in local as well as international market. Now over here they have given the farming in Israel. Now in marketing system what they have said, it is necessary for making good production by the farmers which are available to the consumer at a first fair price. The importance of this is like a marketing system in the countries like India, which becomes a clear from the following points, where the agriculture in India is scattered in a very vast area. All the farmers are organized. Most of the farmers, like economically they are weak and cannot market their production on their own. So what they do, that this type of system of agricultural product market committee is been established at nearby taluka level. Now this place where the farmer bring their produce and sell it to the traders. Now the farm produce is perishable, so a proper arrangement is to be done for the sale. So institute like farmers organization, consumer societies, these all help in this task and they try to protect farmers from the exploitation by the agent or mediator. Now farm produce is directly used by the industry as a raw material, and international markets are like becoming very easily available to produce this kind of farm due to the globalization. Now in many those farmers who are progressive and those who are using modern technology in their farm, they sell their produce with proper packaging. So like hotels and malls also require agricultural produce on a large scale. So what they do, they advertise on the internet, their products get sold in local area as well as international market. So students, we have completed this chapter. Hope you all have understood this chapter. Bye students, take care and have a nice day.